the fuck? Oh, no way. Have you guys been down there the whole time? Well, get up. We gotta do a vlog. Come on. Come on. Ow! You guys aren't broken, are you? Nah. You guys are fine. What's up, y'all? It's vlog time, number 2. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's been a long time. It's been a while since my last vlog. My ADHD vlog. That, yeah, a lot of you guys actually like that. So I figured I'm gonna keep doing vlogs, you know, since you guys actually like the vlogs that I do. You know? And if I could actually speak, it would probably be even more entertaining. Am I right? So without further ado, this is my vlog. You guys are probably like, Kyle, you picked us up off the floor. What the hell are you gonna do with us? And the answer to that is very simple. It's story time, everyone. All y'all love my story about how I was diagnosed with ADHD, what I went through, blah blah blah. Right, that's all hashed through, and nobody cares about that anymore. So we're gonna do kind of a different story. Another vlogger story, I guess. In my head, I need to listen to something to fall asleep because my brain just goes on and 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 on. And you get the point, right? So I really need to listen to something to sleep before I can actually fall asleep so that I have something in my head distracting my brain so that the rest of my body can go to sleep. I know that might not make sense to some of you, but that's okay. That's perfectly fine. So normally what I used to do when I was a kid, I was like, what, 13, 14, and I used to just listen to music, just like to fall asleep. I know some of you probably do a bunch of listening to music to fall asleep, am I right? But let me tell you where it's really at. Let me tell you how to really get that good sleep, you know? Freaking creepypastas. That's right, I listen to scary stories to help me fall asleep. Why? Because I'm not a normal human. I get all scared and then I like huddle in like my sheets. I'll be listening to stuff at night and I'll be like, I'm so scared. And that's how that works. And then I wake up in the morning like this, and I'm like, wow, what a good dream about monsters and, you know, wendigos and ghosts. I died 5 times in my dreams. But y'all, you gotta wonder, why am I such a horror fanatic? Well, I don't know, I like getting scared. I like the adrenaline rush. No one else in my family except my aunt gets that. I must have had the recessive gene. So I listen to creepypastas at night to get a little scared. I watch horror movies sometimes to fall asleep too. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So in the spirit of watching creepypastas, I thought I would tell you guys the scariest things to ever happen to me. It's 3 experiences. And they're not even that bad, but I just got scared, you know? Like, so it's 3 different experiences. One of the experiences is just a normal, everyday scare that can happen to anyone. I was just walking down the street. I had just gone to the library, as you do as when I was 13. I just went to the library all the time. I lied, I was 16. So, so I was at the library just vibing, chilling, and I was like, all right, peace out, time to go home. And I started walking home, and I had to walk up this really steep big hill, and it had a large incline. It was really hard to walk up. And so I had my skateboard, but I had to walk up the hill. I'm like, I'm about to skateboard up the hill. And so I'm walking up the hill, and I get to the top, and I'm about to start skating when a veritable gang of ruffians started to assault me verbally. Now that may sound like nerdish jargon to most of you, but what I'm trying to say is that a bunch of kids came up to me and started to pat me down. And I don't know, well, I was 16, they were probably around the same age, maybe a little bit older. And they started to pat me down and they were like, hey, you got anything on him? Is there anything he has to smoke on him? Like this 16-year-old kid would have anything to smoke. Coincidentally enough, I actually did have something to smoke on me. I was wearing this jacket with a hood and it had an inside pocket, and that's where my stuff to smoke was. You know, I'm talking about weed because you can't smoke cigarettes at 16. I just realized you can't smoke weed at 16 either, but let's just gloss over that fact. I had it in my pocket and they were patting me down, right? But my jacket was open and the wind blew the pocket that the weed was in. It like blew it away from the dude's hand, like his hand, and then it whoosh, like, no, I don't know, like the wind, man, the wind had my back that day. So I'm walking and they're patting me down and they're like, oh, he has nothing on him. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, I have nothing on me at all. And then one of them goes, man, if he did have something on him, I would've beat his ass. And I'm over here like, you would've beat my ass? And so I got scared, and then I ran home and I told my dad, and he told me to tell the police, and then I was like, fuck 12. And so I just never told anyone, except now you guys 6 years later. 7 years later. Alright, so that's story one. That's like the least scary thing to happen to me. What are you gonna do? I was a skinny kid. I was like, I don't look like I can beat anyone up. Cause these pythons, they're not strangling much, okay? But, you know, I mean, I survived. They didn't stab me. Yet. I don't know, they could come back, guys. It's been 7 years. They could be like locusts. The gang of ruffians often emerges every 7 years to accost local citizens every 7 years. Alright, on to the next story. Okay, so my next story is a little bit scarier. I was 13. So this is a second type of scare. The first type of scare was just the normal, everyday, you know, people who are bigger than you are gonna kill you type of scare. You know, I got over that one. So the second scare, I gotta go into a little bit of my background. So I was raised Catholic, and being raised Catholic as a boy around mostly girls kind of makes you want to focus on more of the I guess masculine aspect of Catholicism, and for me that meant demonology. So I had just come home from youth group at I don't know, like 8 o'clock, and come home from youth group after talking about demons, and then I ate supper with my mom and we watched Forensic Files, which to me was the most terrifying show on network television, because it was about people just going up to other people and killing them like it happens every day, because I mean, let's be honest, it kind of does. And so I had that all in my brain when we finally finished watching Forensic Files at like 2 in the morning, and my mom was like, go take the dog out. It's pitch black, 2 in the morning. You were just talking about demons and watching people get murdered. Have fun. And so I was like, all right, thanks mom, see you in a bit. So I went out there and I was taking my dog out. My dog's this cute little Bichon Maltese poodle mix. He's adorable, I love him, but he's pretty feisty. And so we were walking around, and mind you, in our backyard, it's not really a yard, it's just a kind of a patch of gravel. And so we're over there and my dog's like, you know, peeing, and all of a sudden I'm looking towards my neighbor's garage. Behind the garage, where I can't see, there's a light shining down. I heard this voice, and I dead ass, it was like, hey, come here, kid. And that's exactly what it sounded like. And so my 13-year-old demonized mind was like, fuck, holy fucking shit, mom, there's a demon, call the priest now. I started praying. I was like, we gotta get inside now. And in my head, it was coming from behind the garage, where there definitely should have been a shadow of someone. But there wasn't, and for years I was terrified. I was like, bro, a demon visited me. And I thought about it recently, like a week ago, and I was like, bro, there's a fence right there. There was probably some drunk asshole behind the fence waiting to scare some kid at 2 in the morning by going, hey, come here, kid. You know, that was my second experience. Almost supernatural, but not really. And my third experience, definitely the most scared I've been. I don't know if I would actually put this as supernatural, because I'm not sure what actually happened to me, or what happened. So let me just explain. There's a famous haunted cemetery in Chicago, and when I was dating my ex, her dad lived really close to Chicago, so when I would go out there to visit her, we'd be right out there. And so one day, a group of her friends and her invited me to go along to this incredibly haunted, apparently, cemetery, and to look for ghosts. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I think I was like 17 or 18. And I was like, yeah, I want to hang out in the cemetery all night. Frick yeah, dude. And so we go there and we get there at about 8 o'clock and it's locked up. So we sneak in, of course. Legally, this is a joke. I didn't sneak in. I snuck in. But so we sneak in and we go in there and it's like an empty clearing, and then off to the right is the cemetery, the fenced in cemetery. It's a very old cemetery. It looked actually pretty cool. And I would actually love to do a vlog there. So comment if I should go back to that cemetery and get haunted again. But yeah, so we went to the cemetery and we were just standing there and like, yeah, maybe we might have thought we saw some shadows that may or may not have been ghosts, but let's be honest, we probably didn't see shit. And so around 10 o'clock, we were there for like 2 hours just kind of talking and vibing in the cemetery. We didn't see nothing. We didn't feel any evil vibes or get any like weird feelings or anything until one of my ex's friends suggested that we go into the path that leads into the forest. And I was like, yeah, that's great. Just go into a forest at 10 o'clock at night, right next to a cemetery. So we did. And we go in there and we're walking through this forest, and I'm not the first in line. I'm not the first in line, I am the last. So that made me the most terrified. And my ex was in front of me, and I'm like using her as like a human body shield, because if any like demons come out the forest at me, I'm gonna throw her. We're walking through the forest, and maybe like 5 minutes in, we're walking very slowly, so we're not actually that far into the forest, but we're like holding on to each other because it's scary, okay? Like, yeah, it's creepy, dude. And we start to hear like branches cracking around us, and like first we heard it in one direction, we heard it in another direction, we heard it in like another direction, and then in another direction, bro, and then in like another direction, and then in another. But you get the gist. Like, there were sounds all around us. It was creepy as fuck. So we're like, let's get the fuck out of here. We need to fucking leave right now. I'm scared. Call my mom. And so we did back to our cars, and we never found out what that was in there. You know, I thought at the time, I was like, it's a bunch of cultists in the trees, and we're gonna get sacrificed. That's freaking perfect. And so we get back to our cars, and we drive home, and we talk about it, and we're like, oh, what do you think it was? Oh, what do you think it was? Oh, what do you think it was? And everyone's like, it was ghosts. And I was like, ghosts can't break twigs, you fucking idiot. And so I still thought it was like a bunch of cultists. So, but when I was thinking about what video I should make, I was making this video and I was like, bro, it was probably a fucking Wendigo, bro. Anyway, that's the time I almost got killed by a supernatural entity. I've been Kyle Lemon. Thanks for watching. Peace out, everyone.